A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for the very first edition of UBC News Tonight with me, Moureen Babirye, and my colleague Mohammed Mogalu on Sign Language on this 12th of July 2026. But first, let's see what's making the headlines. In our headlines tonight, the former government chief whip Dennis Hamson-Obua tips South African Ugandan returnees on wealth creation. Government allocates 4.5 billion shillings towards purchase of specialized medicine for the financial year 2026-27. The Uganda Development Corporation renews call for investment in agro-processing and value addition. And corporate games return after a 2-month suspension caused by the Ebola outbreak. In our first report tonight, the former government chief whip and now national vice chairperson for northern Uganda in the NRM party, Dennis Hamson-Obua, has called on Ugandans who returned to the country to explore the available peace, security and wealth creation to rapidly fit in the new society. Obua has been addressing the returnees who are currently having orientation from the National Leadership Institute in Chankwanzi.
The over 1,000 Ugandans who were repatriated from South Africa are being oriented at the National Leadership Institute, Chankwanzi. The former government chief whip and national vice chairperson NRM Northern Uganda, Dennis Hamson-Obua, has facilitated and interacted with the returnees.
Kanga bawerewo tekyali roundabout nejo Kampala ekisasi tekyali nyumba ya subi yadde nejo ati mutandika okunoonya abanyabuzaale nga tetunabataluli olunaku.
I was invited to come and speak to you as a leader of the ruling party in Uganda.
The returnees have been evacuated from South Africa following xenophobic attacks.
But equally as a victim and a survivor of an internal conflict. At the age of 5-6, like your children, some of us in northern Uganda were already experiencing what has brought you back home. Just imagine, President Museveni had not evacuated you, and a number of you had died in South Africa. We would now be receiving dead bodies. Would we be talking to dead bodies? First, thank God that you are back home.
Obua's afternoon presentation was titled Service Above Self, a case study of His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni intended to put into picture the leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
We credit President Museveni as a revolutionary leader for bringing peace. So that is service above self. A son of a poor man is now here. He has been able to study in Lango. The time he crossed to Buganda, he was now going to a higher level that could not be attained in Lango.
During the induction, Dennis Obua says it is better for the returnees to appreciate what has so far been achieved back home, mainly under the leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's administration.
But ladies and gentlemen, we must thank him that from nothing to steal, there is now something to steal. The country could have even degenerated. From 5 billion, we are now in 40 trillion plus. Tax collection. So the biggest challenge in the fight against corruption, we must all get ourselves involved.
To them, Obua says that although life might pose many questions and challenges for now, there should be hope that all hasn't been lost.
But Uganda now is peaceful. From the north, through the east, to central Uganda, which is Buganda, to the western part, Uganda is peaceful. And I want to urge you that as you are back home, please, when you move to your different areas, first sit, relax, and study the environment.
Obua further asserts that under the leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the country has developed.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will reach your areas, you will get lost. Someone talking about a grass thatch house in Kawempe. You will reach Kawempe and see how Kawempe looks like. What used to be town councils were translated into municipalities. Majority of them are now cities. Arua is a city. Gulu is a city. Lira is a city. Soroti is a city.
He tips them as they leave for their respective villages. Engaging in wealth creation projects will be the game changer.
Deep in your villages, for the last 3 to 5 years, we have been implementing at least 2 flagship programs. There's a program called PDM, Paris Development Model. There's another one called EMIOGA. In fact, those who are like in garages, those who are in saloons, you can benefit under EMIOGA. You can benefit under EMIOGA because it is targeting the artisan.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Thank you, Robert Onyango, for that report. Now, in other news, Mulago National Referral Hospital has commended government for allocating 4.5 billion Uganda shillings towards the purchase of specialized medicines in the 2026-27 national budget. The director of Mulago National Referral Hospital, Dr. Rosemary Bianyima, says the additional 4.5 billion Uganda shillings now brings the budget for specialized medicines to 29 billion Uganda shillings.
In the 2026-2027 national budget, the health sector that is under the Human Capital Development was allocated Uganda shillings 5.23 trillion, down from 5.87 trillion allocated in the previous year. One of the health priorities for government in the 2026-2027 national budget is improving specialized services, and shillings 4.5 billion was directed towards the purchase of specialized medicines. The Executive Director Mulago National Referral Hospital, Dr. Rosemary Bianyima, says the additional 4.5 billion Uganda shillings now brings the budget for specialized medicines to 29 billion Uganda shillings.
But that notwithstanding, yes, we are grateful, but our budgetary requirement is slightly over 100 billion. So whereas we shall try and improve on what we are doing, we may remain constrained.
Other aspects that need critical attention in order to improve specialized treatment in the country include training of super specialized human resource, investing in the purchase of equipment, and better pay for the specialists.
Now, first and foremost, we need to put in place the necessary infrastructure, and that takes some time, but also to train the necessary health workers. That even takes more time. To train a cardiologist confidently may take him up to 15 years. If you look at the 5 years of medical school, there is a 1-year internship, then you work a bit, then you go and do M.Med for 3 years, then now you go and do another 3 years to become a cardiac surgeon, or you go and do fellowships and so forth. That would take anywhere between 13 and 15 years. So, but on the side of government, we started this journey about 10 years ago, and I'm confident to say that we now have the necessary skill set. But having the necessary skill set is one thing. Remunerating them, paying them adequately, money that is commensurate to, 1, to the years they have studied, 2, to also that super specialized value, that skill that they are bringing. Like you very well put it, some of these surgeries in Turkey, India, the US, Canada, South Africa, may be anywhere between $30,000 to $50,000. So, meaning that that person who performs that super specialized surgery on you, we have to pay him well. Because we may train him here, and then a hospital in South Africa gives him a better offer. I'm glad to say, under the guidance of His Excellency, the President, over the last 10 years, he's really been a champion of investing in scientists, meaning training them, but also remunerating them. So
we are grateful the government acquired an ADB loan which remodeled and re-equipped Mulago to be able to offer specialized services. But these equipments are now coming to almost 10 years, so they are becoming costly to maintain. It's high time that in the next 2 years we plan on replacing them. Otherwise, the technology becomes obsolete and even maintenance. And downtime affects our throughput.
Whereby government sets up these specialized facilities. And by the way, for your information, we have got very good experts in the country. Some of our doctors are the ones who go to Aga Khan in Kenya, others are the ones who go to India. So we have doctors. So what we need is the equipment. And we could manage it in a way that first we have got investors coming in to do this, and then over time we gradually take over as a country. And Ugandans would definitely pay, but it would be cheaper than someone going to India or Turkey, and then you have to go 3 people, and then you have to pay air ticket, and then you have got to pay hotel accommodation, and then you have to, so it becomes more costly. So those countries actually promote it as medical tourism, and they are making a lot of money, so that huge leakage can easily be controlled if we can strategically plan so that we have got these services back home, and the expertise we don't have, we can outsource it so that these people can do everything here.
Nevertheless, strides have been made.
Yes, we used to refer all orthopedic and maybe spine and neuro cases abroad, but we are able to handle quite a number. We continue to advance in our services so that we can continuously reduce on the referrals. Renal transplant is one of the programs which we are scaling up in terms of the number of patients we should handle. But there are also those which are more complex, and if you are starting a program, you cannot handle the more complex transplants. So we are taking it on slowly but surely, and we want to introduce liver transplant. We've already sent 2 teams to India for training, and hopefully we shall start.
Specialized treatment is a priority in this year's national budget to reduce expensive medical referrals, reduce reliance on foreign care, and boost universal health coverage. Adia Nakuchi, UBC.
The Uganda Development Corporation has renewed its call for investment in agro-processing and value addition for untapped potential in agricultural products that are exported in raw form. This was during a meeting with ministers in the Trade, Industry and Cooperatives Ministry, where UDC unveiled its new strategic direction and called for increased capitalization to accelerate industrial development.
Uganda Development Corporation serves as government's strategic investment arm, financing sectors where private investors are afraid to venture.
I want to thank you for the work you have done so far. Now let us move to the core sectors that actually the President has aligned for us, and for us to achieve the growth from 50 or 60 billion where we are today to 500 billion. It is extremely easy now because we have extra power, with the roads are there, the security is there. All we need is the funds to make sure that we implement these things.
The minister challenged UDC to broaden its investment portfolio and prioritize industries that process agricultural commodities into export-ready products.
Fruit and agricultural processing, let us put a little bit of more effort. From Kayunga, Tororo, as you go that entire belt of Busoga and Bukedi, we have so many pineapples, and yet we have huge markets in the Middle East and Asia. We don't even need to look at Europe. There is a lot of honey in Chigezi, Toro, Ankole, West Nile, northern Uganda, that is being put to waste. And these Swiss people that I met have just agreed with me that more than 40% of the honey that is on the European shelves and Asian shelves in the supermarkets, 40% is synthetic. Synthetic meaning manufactured in laboratories. Our colleague in Parliament, former Minister Musa Echweru, has square miles of cassava, and there are other farmers in Teso. The entire north, women are producing shea butter.
Besides a series of successful projects in agro-industrialization, UDC is now seeking stronger government support to finance industrial projects capable of transforming local production into globally competitive products.
We went to Cabinet and asked for Cabinet to increase our capitalization to 5 trillion in line with the law, and Cabinet approved.
Over the past year, the board and management have undertaken an extensive strategic review of the corporation to ensure that UDC is fit for purpose.
And you have our support as the top management. We pledge our total support.
The discussions also highlighted UDC's 10 years of operation since the current UDC Act.
We are in collaboration with the ministry in discussions so that we can commemorate the 10 years anniversary, and we celebrate it around the Industrialization Day in November.
As Uganda pursues the tenfold growth strategy and Vision 2040, the next phase of transformation seeks to strengthen UDC's financial sustainability, expand its investment portfolio, build institutional capacity, and promote innovation as Uganda accelerates industrialization come 2040. Chris Buyondo, UBC.
In another development, a total of 2,206 UPDF recruits have completed 43 weeks of basic military training at Olelim Training School in Katakwi District. The graduates, including 364 female trainees, passed out after undergoing intensive training in military skills, discipline, and patriotism. We have a report.
This ceremony featured a military parade with commanders and guests following the national pass-out ceremony presided over by President Yoweri Museveni at Kaweweta Military Training School through a live broadcast. Major General Wilberforce Serunkuma congratulated the recruits upon completing the training.
We are expecting a lot from you. We, the leaders of the military and the communities and the Uganda at large. But we need you when you are alive. Commander told us about the sickness. As we are talking about discipline, keeping yourself alive, that is part of discipline. When you are joining the army, you go through test and you find out that you are fit to join the army. Then you are going out to start serving, to be in many places.
He also encouraged commanders to identify outstanding trainees for further military development.
I will request the commandant to always follow up those soldiers who are doing exemplary. Because here I have seen some for which I could recommend after here they go to any service cadet for command duties or command activities.
The new soldiers were urged to uphold discipline, patriotism, and protect themselves against HIV/AIDS as they begin their service.
I also ask you to always be disciplined, because if you are not disciplined, all the knowledge you have acquired here will go to waste. In Swahili we say msingi ya jeshi ni discipline.
He challenged them to maintain discipline, professionalism, and integrity throughout their military careers.
You have joined the Defense Forces fraternity. You have been trained to serve your country diligently. Therefore, you go out to your new units, take up your new assigned tasks, display good leadership qualities imparted in you as newly trained soldiers.
Some of the graduates expressed commitment to serving and protecting the country after completing the demanding training.
And about this course, it is not hard and not easy because it is full of vigorous activities. But when you endure and you pray it's so easy to pass through it. I congratulate myself and my comrades about completing this course and say, for God and my country, for Ngela Uganda, we are here to serve our nation.
Thank you for that report. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, also the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, says national security and economic transformation cannot be separated. He maintains that no nation can build a strong military or achieve prosperity without a modern and growing economy. Tonight, we examine how the UPDF is safeguarding the nation and how the force is driving Uganda's national transformation agenda.
This was the end of a situation that had destabilized Uganda. For nearly 4 decades, the UPDF has preserved the country's borders and kept Ugandans safe. It follows the 1986 NRA Liberation War, which built Uganda's transformation on steady progress.
We came with an army of 54,000 from Tanzania. Ourselves plus the Tanzanians who were 11,000, and the Tanzanians were 44,000.
This was the peace and stability built by the UPDF, but after pacification and sexual instability, there was about to return to development.
We are revamping and improving our military schools and hospitals, not just for active soldiers, but for reservists that can access and utilize them all across the country.
Government investment in roads, schools, hospitals, and industries was now secure.
And I want to thank all the officers and all the NCOs and all the militants of NRA, of UPDF, of FONASA for accepting that strategy of Kamwe Kamu Muganda.
Once there was security, development was imminent. Security is the foundation for Uganda's economic transformation. With peace and stability, investments, infrastructure, and social services cannot grow. Uganda is strategizing on achieving Vision 2040, a national development plan that makes Uganda achieve a middle-income class. A stable Uganda has attracted investments, created jobs, and improved service delivery for its citizens. UPDF is no longer at war. It has integrated into national development. It also spearheads infrastructure development to support Uganda's national transformation agenda.
Our role is to be an effective engineering arm of UPDF with the capacity to plan, to construct, and maintain national socio-economic infrastructure. The number of MDAs we engaged in are 14. And the total number of projects we have undertaken so far are 407 projects.
In July 2021, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni directed the Engineering Brigade to undertake all government-funded projects. Since then, the impact has been visible.
You work under tension and projects delivered timely, it will teach you to do the same in other projects. So the biggest experience we have gained is one is to work under tension and deliver projects timely, which will be a good thing and positive one to all UPDF engineers.
The UPDF Engineering Brigade has delivered several mega projects under the National Transformation Agenda. The full reconstruction of Mandela National Stadium Nambole, now a world-class facility that hosts international games. The new arrival terminal at Entebbe International Airport, expanding capacity and improving passengers' experience. The Gulu Regional Passport Office, bringing service closer to the people in northern Uganda. The Army's mandate also extends beyond Uganda's borders. In Somalia, UPDF troops serving under the African Union Transition Mission have fought terrorism and restored order for civilian life and trade. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, Operation Suja has degraded the ADF rebels in North Kivu. The joint operation has secured major roads, protected communities in Kainama, Boga, Mwalika Valley, Runa, and Mambasa. Uganda's stability is now a driver of regional stability. With peace comes investment, and with investment comes economic growth for Uganda and the region. Haruna Tesasira, UBC News.
Now, news concerning health. Inborn errors of immunity, commonly known as IEI, are emerging as a significant public health burden in Uganda, affecting thousands of individuals, particularly children and young adults. Health experts say limited awareness, stigma, delayed diagnosis, and gaps in access to treatment continue to worsen outcomes. Zahra Abigaba has the details.
Kabanda Zubeda Lucky, a resident of Chitende along Entebbe Road, is the mother of 4 surviving children, 2 of whom are living with inborn errors of immunity. She previously lost her first son due to the same condition at the age of 9. Zubeda shares her painful journey, recalling how her son frequently fell sick before doctors discovered that he had fluid accumulating in his lungs.
I gave birth to a normal child, but when it reached shortly after breastfeeding, he started falling sick, going to hospitals, and then they told us he had an infection, bacterial infection, viral infection. So we moved from hospitals to hospitals, trying to find out what could be the problem. So at this one point, he had a bad infection, and then we went to the hospital, and they were giving him antibiotics, which were not responding.
She says it was through a friend who had a child with a similar condition they sought further medical evaluation. By then, the family had already exhausted their finances, moving from one health facility to another in search of answers.
Struggling to find out what could be the problem. By the time we found out that he had that condition, we were exhausted as parents. We were financially exhausted because these surgeries costed a lot of money. The hospital bills, we were exhausted. So we waited. By then we could not get the drugs because they were not in Uganda. As right now we are speaking, they are not in Uganda. So we were advised to fly to Nairobi.
Zubeda describes the darkest moment of her life, the day her son complained of a severe throbbing headache and asked her for a hug. She was busy at the time and did not realize it would be the last hug she would ever receive from him. Today, Zubeda continues to care for her 2 sons living with the same condition.
I have more 2 boys. One is 10 and another one is 4 years. But ever since I lost that child, I got to know a lot of things. I looked out for help. I went into reading because I knew the problem. I went into reading.
She advises parents with children living with IEI to consider homeschooling where possible, as these children are highly vulnerable to infections.
To take these children at school when they are sick, because I witnessed that. I took my child when he was young, but in a term we could go in at school 3 times in a term, because he is associating with a lot of children whose immune system is working properly, but his is not working properly. So he ends up catching the viruses or the bacteria that is going to affect them. So once you take them when they are old, at least their immune system, you can try to fight. You can tell him to put on a mask at that age, maybe he can understand. And then another thing is to, if you can, to do homeschooling until when this child is in senior 1 or senior 2.
She's also calling upon the government to subsidize the cost of medication and make essential drugs readily available in public health facilities.
I have to import this drug from India every month, which cost me around $1,000 every month for the 2 boys.
At Mulago National Referral Hospital, management of inborn errors of immunity, IEI, and related chronic immune compromising conditions remains a challenge. Health workers cite low awareness, limited diagnostic capacity, inadequate medicine supplies as key obstacles. Dr. John Sekabira, the acting executive director at Mulago National Referral Hospital, says the hospital has a dedicated IEI project aimed at increasing awareness among health workers, caregivers, and patients while improving overall patient outcomes.
The inborn errors of immunity, which condition afflicts so many patients, but before probably we didn't know the impact of this condition to our population.
Dr. Lucy Amanio, a pediatric at Mulago National Referral Hospital, explains what IEI means and why early diagnosis is critical.
IEIs are rare genetic diseases, formerly known as primary immunodeficiencies. Primary because they are genetic, so they are not acquired and they affect the immune system, so that's why they are called inborn errors of immunity. And these conditions mainly present in children, and they present with frequent infections. They can have severe allergies, they can have various skin infections, and usually there is a family history. So someone else in the family may have similar symptoms to what this child is presenting with. So we've been managing patients in this clinic since January 2025. It's called the Genetics and Immunology Clinic, and it runs in Ward 15. And so far, for the past 1 year, we've registered about 12 patients who are suspected IEI, and out of those, we've confirmed 1 patient with Job syndrome, which is one of the rarest inborn errors of immunity. So even though these conditions are rare, they occur in about 500 patients per million, which sounds very rare, but once you confirm this disease, then you can be able to support this child to live a full life.
Limiting access for many families. She further explains that management may include a lifelong medication, infection prevention strategies, specialized laboratory monitoring, and in some cases, advanced therapies.
The conditions are very rare and they are very, very expensive to diagnose and treat. So currently what we are able to do, we can run CBCs, which is a complete blood count, which gives us a snapshot of what's happening in the patient's immune system. And once we find a suspicious CBC, we send this patient to do what we call immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulins are the antibodies that fight infections in your body. And we've been doing this in collaboration with Lancet Laboratories under a project called DARE. So if it's not under the project, it usually costs about 500,000 to do the full panel of immunoglobulins. And this includes IgG, IgA, IgE, and IgM. And these immune errors of inborn errors of immunity are very diverse, and they present with various symptoms, and they also affect the immunoglobulins differently. So once we find ambiguous immunoglobulin results, then we proceed to do genetic testing for this patient, because all inborn errors of immunity have a genetic basis. We are currently sending samples for genetic testing out of the country, and we've realized that many of our patients cannot afford to do these tests, which cost about maybe $2,500 to $3,000 for the whole process. But currently we are able to offer this genetic testing for free.
The hospital administration hopes that with sustained funding, the initiative will be rolled out to regional referral hospitals and lower health centers across the country to ensure early screening and proper management of affected children. Zahra Abigaba, UBC News.
Now from there, we'll take you to Karamoja, where at St. Peter's Church of Uganda in Naguru, where it came alive as Christians gathered to welcome the Bishop of North Karamoja Diocese, Right Reverend Bishop Isu Simon Akol, on a pastoral visit to strengthen fellowship with the Karamojong community living and working and around Kampala.
The pastoral visit provided an opportunity for the bishop to interact with Christians away from their home region, encouraging them to remain united in faith and committed to serving communities wherever they live. Bishop Isu presided over the main English service before joining the fourth service, which was conducted simultaneously in Luo and Ngakarimojong, allowing worshippers to receive the message in languages they best understand.
And connect them with the mission and the ministry at home of the church. And also connect them with the ministry of the church here in Kampala. So that is the purpose number one of coming, so that we have our interaction, our fellowship, our pastoral fellowship to the people of Karamoja living in Kampala.
The service attracted a large congregation of Karimojong faithful. The atmosphere was vibrant as a choir co-led by Karimojong children from Katwe, Kampala filled the church with praise and worship, reflecting the community's rich cultural heritage. During his sermon, Bishop Isu emphasized love, unity, forgiveness, and reconciliation as essential values for building strong families, peaceful communities, and sustainable development.
You must be anchored in Scripture. You must be anchored in Christ. Only when you are anchored in Christ, you become a true disciple of Jesus Christ.
During the service attended by the State Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Davinia Anyakona, he urged parents to invest in the moral and spiritual upbringing of the children, describing them as the future leaders upon whom both the Karimojong community and Uganda's development depend.
And also we want to make sure that we work with the churches to work on government programs, because through churches is when so many things are disseminated, and also people understand more through the structures of the churches. And I believe us as leaders being close to the churches and also working together with the church will be able to transform the region. But the most important thing, this reunion here, it's very important to come and you start praying in your local language. You know what I mean? The bishop is blessing us in our local language. Every day in Kampala we go to other churches. But
members of the congregation welcomed the visit, saying it renewed their faith and strengthened the bond among Karimojong families living in and around Kampala.
There is a complete drought, crops have dried, people are dying, and we say in such a day we should commit Karamoja into prayers. And issues of education. Today when you see the young people who are singing here, these are our young Karamojongs who have run away from the area. They are in Kampala. We visited them in Katwe and brought them. Please let us come and we pray together and see how they are excited.
Traditional entertainment, light refreshments, and interactive sessions with the bishop and his delegation brought the day's celebrations to a memorable end.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily
bando like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu yakusabula. Mikono tu, free your fire, free your fire, free your fire.
Makerere Institute for Social Development, a certified institution for higher learning, invites applicants for certificates and diploma courses like accounting and finance, procurement, journalism, tailoring and fashion design, with many other skills-tailored courses.
Our institution is compliant. First of all, it is recognized by National Council for Higher Education. We are certified. The registration number is UBB 187.
Tested and tried since 1995, Makerere Institute for Social Development is your solution when it comes to quality education.
You may apply for January, May, August intakes. Find us along Sir Apollo Kagwa Road, opposite Makerere University Sports Ground. Our tuition is affordable with a state-of-art facilities. Early birds stand a chance to grab themselves bursaries. MISD or Makerere Institute for Social Development, facilitating your career.
There is a new way to keep your breath fresh all day. Introducing Movit All Day Toothpaste, meant to give you powerful night gum defense and teeth whitening. The charcoal flavor gives you deep cleansing and power stain removal. And the herbal delivers natural strength for healthy, confident smiles. Choose Movit All Day Toothpaste and enjoy freshness all day.
Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend services. Roofing's, strength of a nation.
Going out without a fear, stepping out on every rock. I'm making my world just like I always wanted. Living further and beyond, growing up every day is the goal that I made up for me. That's why
is Tuliahewa Dixon. And the child is Annie Tuliahewa Esther.
Kambera gwete kwa mchisha. Ngo isha watu yahewa Esther. Wahangura school fees. Ngeni na hateja shana mashemero kwa konka. MTN mo eberewo. Mbeni nyegasta igana kaga ni tano. Sta manana 0 hash. Kushashuro mwana school fees. Toko manyo mchisheri za guisho wanje. Ninga nchaka nikuwasa kuzo wawe. Mwebare munonga.
They share an office. Some work in the day, some at night. What they have in common: focus, dedication. That's what makes them champions. They also share something else: the reward of being one. The official beer of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Not for persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Alo.
Esebo mwami mukasa.
Mutyaneyo.
Yono broka.
Yenze broka wa mayumba.
Bangambye ne nyumba za mwenungiko.
Kituufu. Oyagala yabisenga bimeka?
Nga bisatu.
Ebbeeyi bagigambye?
Bangambye saa 5.
Nedda ssebo eno zaali nyabuuko.
Lwaki?
Anti langi gye tusiigisa ya mulembe. Kati ne valiyo y'ekitundu yalinnya.
Musiigisa ki?
Global Paints.
Mutya.
Ku siiringi tukozesa Global Mat. Ate munda ne tukozesa Global Silk Vinyl.
Singa kwetaga wabweru.
Wabweru tukozesa Global Weather Coat Emulsion.
Owa. Kusiiga gye musiiga. Ogwo omutindo ogusasulira sente zonna.
Guli wumite.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
Welcome back from the break, and now in our business news, farmers in Rugando Sub-County, Rampara District have welcomed plans by the Anko Tusime Foundation to construct a modern agricultural market, saying the project will guarantee markets for their produce, reduce exploitation by middlemen, and improve household incomes. The farmers made the remarks during a tour of the site where the market will be established.
Speaking during the project tour, the National Project Coordinator Valentine Muhereza Kachina said the initiative will be implemented through 3 key institutions, including RAMPS Credit Financial Services, RAMPS International Fresh Food Market, and RAMPS Global Air Cargo.
And under Uncle T Development Foundation, we have RAMPS Credit Financial Services, located in Rugando, Rwampara. We also have RAMPS International Fresh Food Market, and we also have RAMPS Global Air Cargo. Now we are coming up with a model farm known as ABC Contract Modern Farming for Standby Market Demand.
Muhereza explained that under the ABC model, A stands for international markets, B represents the East African regional market, while C targets the local market.
We are going to be giving loans to farmers. Then when we give them loan through our RAMPS Credit Financial Services, then we take those farmers to RAMPS International Fresh Food Market.
By the project for distribution to local, regional and international markets.
We shall do contracts with farmers that we, the RAMPS Credit Financial Services, are giving you loan to produce such and such products, which we shall buy them through RAMPS International Fresh Farm Market.
According to Muhereza, the initiative will eliminate middlemen, reduce post-harvest losses, increase productivity and improve farmers' earnings. He added that the project will also create employment opportunities in financial services, produce handling, logistics, marketing and other support sectors.
Many people in Rwampara, Mbarara and Ankole have been growing, for instance, matoke, but you find they don't have a market. Most of food like matoke, that food perish. So there has been that gap that even if people grow matoke at a larger extent or at big market, they don't know where to sell their produces from.
A 24-hour financial service center and a modern fresh food market are expected to begin operations in Rampara District soon. Muhereza urged farmers and job seekers across Rampara District, Mbara City and other Ankole sub-regions that the initiative will provide sustainable livelihoods and strengthening the agricultural economy.
Is to get prepared, because we are opening in less than a week. There's a lot of employment that is going to take place here.
Farmers hoped for improved access to reliable markets and the value of their produce.
Thank you, Ankoti, to extend his market for matoke, and we appreciate very much. And in addition to this, we thank the government of His Excellency Takuta Museveni implement and support in terms of security and open wide market.
The Uganda Federation of More Gwemgos Community Credit Cooperatives has unveiled a 5-year strategic plan aimed at strengthening governance, enhancing financial sustainability, and widening access to affordable financial services for more Gwemgos members. The UFCC Chief Executive Officer Andrew Chepa says the strategy will tackle key challenges in loan management, business growth, membership mobilization and technology adoption to enhance service delivery.
The Uganda Federation of Maul Game Goals Community Credit Cooperatives has concluded a 3-week leadership training on governance and financial literacy for leaders from 18 Maul Game Goals across the country. The training, supported by Korean Federation of Community Credit Cooperatives and South Korea Ministry of Interior and Safety, was led at the Federation's headquarters in Buwama, Mpigi District.
This training was aimed at imparting skills in our MG leaders. First, the governance skills. We also trained them in financial literacy such that they can get the basic accounting principles to see that they go back and implement them in our MGs.
To reinforce transparency, accountability and sound financial management, the leaders took an oath of office. EFCC Chief Executive Officer Andrew Chepa says the Federation's 5-year strategic plan is designed to strengthen community credit cooperatives by improving governance, expanding access to affordable financial services, and enhancing institutional sustainability.
Key among the challenges that have come through this strategic planning exercise have been in areas of governance. So these strategic plans are addressing those critical issues to ensure that these MGs grow and achieve their goals and be able to support their members.
Chepa adds that the strategy will address key challenges affecting Maul Game Goals while promoting operational efficiency.
And what is coming out very clearly is that in every village where our cooperatives are, we are going to have village coordinators, people who can help in terms of financial literacy, people who can help those who cannot be able to reach the offices, to reach them, mobilize their savings and transfer them to the offices.
The plan also prioritizes technology and innovation to improve service delivery, strengthen investments, and expand membership, positioning community credit cooperatives to better meet the evolving financial needs of their members.
Every life begins in a moment like this. Certain, planned, full of promise. For us, it's a bold ambition to make lives better. Because somewhere, someone is stepping into a world of work for the first time with the confidence that their retirement is taken care of. We make dreams possible. From owning homes to scaling businesses. And when health takes an unexpected turn, help is there when it's needed most. And because legacies matter, what people build does not end with them. It's passed on. We value moments with go-getters, bold dreamers and believers. Different paths, different rhythms, with one shared belief that financial freedom is within reach. For 40 years, we've made lives better and fueled Uganda's economy. Through careful investment, we have supported businesses, created jobs, and backed our nation. To us, it's more than saving. It's believing in effort, in patience, in possibility. It's making lives better. We believe in you, in us, and in Uganda.
NSSF, 40 years of making lives better.
And now in our sports edition, the corporate games have returned after a 2-month suspension caused by Ebola outbreak, with companies and institutions resuming competitions in a bigger and more competitive edition. The games, which bring together employees from different organizations, featured a variety of sporting and team-building activities including archery, chess, football, netball, baseball, drum beating, and tug of war.
Speaking during the opening of the games, Corporate Games Uganda aide Ian Lumanyika said this year's edition has attracted more companies, making the competition stronger and more engaging. Lumanyika also launched the corporate run to raise funds to support maternal health services for expectant mothers.
The thing is that no mother, no woman, no auntie, no jaja should die while giving a life out there. The proceeds that we collect during the corporate run, we buy mama kits and give them to health centers. That every year we will see numbers increase, but also we have introduced another game yet in the corporate games called archery. I don't know if you have seen it. Archery is a game that is going to enable employees focus, teach them patience, teach them discipline. So what we're saying is that we want corporates to come out of their offices, come in the sports arena, learn how to do certain things outside the office, outside the four walls. The decisions that are made outside the four walls, not all decisions are made in the boardroom. So when you come here and meet CEOs and you meet colleagues and you network from the different spaces, then you grow.
The Chief Executive Officer, Capital Markets Authority, and the Chief Guest, Josephine Osia, encouraged companies and institutions to participate in the games to promote teamwork, employee wellness, and stronger corporate networks.
And I encourage as many CEOs to sponsor their teams to come. There are 32 companies here, but there could be more. Last year we did, as part of this, there was a corporate run where we raised only 20 million shillings. But we can raise more than that for mothers, so that mothers don't die when they are giving birth. So we encourage more institutions to come and join and to partner with us even as we do the corporate games, the corporate run which comes in October, so that we can even double the number of mama kits that we can supply. Last year we supplied to 2 health centers. We raised 1,500 mama kits. But this year we want to hit even 5,000. So we are calling out everybody out there, come and be part of the corporate games, come and be part of the corporate run. Let's support our mothers so that nobody dies while they are giving birth.
Is getting out of the office space, getting on the ground, trying to relax and free your mind. It's a lot of mental fatigue that a lot of corporates carry on a day-to-day basis, and burnout is very real, which affects productivity overall.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC, was among the teams that took part in the competitions. The UBC football team collected 6 points from the...
In more sports news, Uganda Matters College Sunday has hosted the 4th edition of the Uganda Matters Cup, an annual sports tournament organized to commemorate the Uganda Matters. Benon Mukwaya reports.
The championship attracted participation from several secondary schools including Uganda Matters College Sunday, Mukono Kings High School, St. Mary's College Namugongo, Faith High School, Dynamic Secondary School, Lakeview Secondary School, and St. Mary's Namaliri.
We started the Uganda Matters tournament in commemoration of the Uganda Matters, but also in line with our mission that talks about enabling learners to acquire skills.
Through the tournament, students competed with determination, sportsmanship, showcasing exceptional talent in football and other sporting activities. The director of Uganda Matters College Sunday, Dr. Arnold Chibuka, emphasized the importance of sports in shaping responsible and well-rounded learners.
National sports competitions are not enough to foster talent exposure and development among our learners. So we thought of a way of continuing the momentum of building and also exposure of talent in line of football for both boys and girls between Uganda Matters and other schools.
The chief guest, Mukono District Woman Member of Parliament, Draville Sheila Amanio, commended the organizers, saying sports play a vital role in education by nurturing talent and promoting health lifestyles.
All of us, as you see us here, we pass through this same trend of sports. I was a volleyballer personally, and now at Parliament, we also have tournaments. We have sports in Parliament, compulsory. we go and play against other parliamentarians in other countries.
The tournament concluded with Mukono Kings High School emerging the champions in the boys football and Uganda Matters College Sunday claiming the girls football title, earning the praise for their outstanding performance throughout the competition. I'm Benon Mukwaya.
And that wraps up our first edition of UBC News Tonight. Thank you so much for watching to the very end. My name is Moureen Babirye with my colleague Mohammed Mugalu in Sign Language. We'll see you at 10 p.m.